Today's news is going to be a little bit polarizing, so fair warning, if you'd rather not see that kind of stuff from me, don't bother. I won't hold it against you. Hi everybody, my name is Onepeg MG. This is the news. As a reminder, I do one of these almost every single day, so if you are watching this one for the first time and this is something that you want to see more of, please consider subscribing and following the stream. So that way when I go online, you'll know. Anyway, this news story has to do with someone in the community. It's really more of an editorial piece that has to do with Twitch on a whole. But as it relates to a game that we all tend to share in Escape from Tarkov as something that is very near and dear to my heart, I thought it only pertinent to report on something that is going on with one of our own. In this case, it's a streamer by the name of Warrun. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Warrun is, but he's an extremely proficient Tarkov streamer. He's one of the best people that I have ever seen play the game, and probably is accused of hacking more often than not. Now, recently, Warrun had his Twitter account hacked, and while that was super interesting to read, there isn't really a news story there insofar as what came afterward. Now, somewhere around Valentine's Day, Warrun was in the middle of a stream and ended up losing his temper a little bit and making fun of someone. Now, in this case, there was a report that was made that said that Warrun was using a racial epithet that had to do with someone of Hispanic origin. Now, I'm saying it like that for obvious reasons. I'm obviously not going to use the slang that he was accused of using. But the reason why this is interesting is not because someone in his position used a slang derogatory term. Now, before I get any further into this, I want to make sure that everyone understands that I don't condone the use of slang derogatory terminology, whether it's race, religion, disability, or someone's sexual preference. It has nothing to do with any of that. The reason why this is interesting is because Warrun, according to him, didn't even say that. Someone reported him for using this racial epithet. And in Warrun's case, he says that he got a 30-day suspension on Twitch for a word that he didn't even know what it meant until Discord had told him. He says he knows that not knowing does not take the consequence away, but the problem is that he never intended to say it and said something else. Now, in this case, rather than using that racial epithet, according to Warrun, he used the word specked. S-P-E-C-C-E-D, which refers to someone that is wearing glasses, not the racial epithet, which I'm sure any of you guys could jump to the conclusion and know what that would be based on the word that Warrun says he actually used. Now, obviously, we have no way on our end of this as community consumers to know what it is that Warrun actually said because the account is suspended for 30 days. But there are a couple of issues with this. One, to my knowledge, Warrun has never received a suspension before. And for those of you that don't know, the way that Twitch typically does this is based on a 3-strike system. Strike 1, 24 hours. Strike 2, 1 week. Strike 3, 30 days. If there's another strike after that, you're banned from Twitch permanently, and you get to join the ranks of people like Ice Poseidon or Tickle Me Pink, which I would argue that Warrun is nothing like. The other thing about this that bothers me is that we have countless examples of other content creators that, in my opinion, have done much worse, sometimes on purpose to pretend like it was a mistake. We have countless examples of nudity on stream, countless examples of over-the-top sexual acts, and examples of people that have gotten into car accidents, for instance, on purpose, and then driven away from it, if only to garner views. So it turns into this shock and awe system. Now, in Twitch's case, obviously, they need to be able to make money for Amazon, but when you do not have clear-cut guidelines on what it is that you're supposed to follow, that begs the question, where do you start drawing the line? Now, if Warrun had used some form of racial epithet, then yeah, absolutely, he should be suspended for that. There should be a slap on the wrist. But the problem with this is because now that he received a 30-day suspension, that automatically jumps him from strike 1 to strike 3 as his very first offense. which means that the next time that something like this happens, if anything like this even remotely closely happens, he gets permanently banned. For someone like myself, if this is how Warrun operates and it is his primary source of income, now he's on pins and needles for who knows how long. And it's possible there's never any rectification of this. Even if Twitch comes out and says, oops, it's already been more than a week. So in Warrun's case, he's now lost a week of revenue. And I don't know if this is his primary income source or not, but if I had a week without pay, I think that would be a bit of an issue. So the overarching issue here is that we have this dichotomy and what appears to be overt favoritism versus not. And in Warrun's case, like any other partner, when you become partnered, one of the things that happens is you get a manager. There's a line, a conduit, if you will, between us as contractors and the mothership. There's someone on the Twitch side of things that we're supposed to be able to reach out to directly. The problem with Warrun's case is that he doesn't know who that is. When he received his partner email, according to him, he doesn't have any idea who he's supposed to be able to reach out to for things like this, which then leaves him to write messages to people on Twitter like Deadly Slob, asking them if they'll write an email on his behalf to their manager so that hopefully something could end up happening here. So we have a communication breakdown on the side of Warrun, who's a partnered streamer, and you're supposed to be the creme de la creme. You're supposed to be among the best of the best that Twitch has. You're supposed to be a poster child for what a good content creator looks like, and he doesn't even know who he's allowed to talk to on his end. If you're at the top 0.01% of all people creating content to the point where you get that purple check mark, how do you not have the ability to reach out to somebody directly at Twitch with an email? How does Twitch screw that one up? And furthermore, how does a company as large as Twitch is, because they have as many contracted employees as they also have a really large staff of people. How do you have a staff as large and wide as what Twitch is, with as much revenue as what Twitch is capable of generating, with financial backing that is Amazon, and not have some form of clear-cut ramifications worth of guidelines set into place that says this is what happens if you screw up. If you use a racial epithet, this is strike one. If you use this, this is what happens. If you do X, this is Y. If you do X twice, you get this, right? There should be some kind of a handbook, not just a single web page that says you should act like nice, happy, fluffy unicorns floating in the sky.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rain.
I just don't get it. If you have people that will go out of their way to be naked on their stream or partially naked on their stream on purpose, I'm not talking about body painting or content creation where, partial nudity is involved. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean people that pretend that their stream is off and get naked on purpose and catch themselves a 24-hour or 1-week ban as a result of showing nudity and pretending like it was an accident and going, oopsie, if only then to get partner emails congratulating them on achieving partner status during that ban, and then being able to come back to an overwhelming number of viewers because they're hoping that they're going to see the nipple slip again. That's the kind of stuff that bothers me. And when someone like Warrun comes out and says, I didn't actually say that, but I have no way to prove it to any of you because the only people that can see this is Twitch staff, and he doesn't even have the ability to get a hold of Twitch staff aside from just going through like the usual appeal process, if only so that on the back end they can come back and go, oops, sorry, you were right about this. They're not going to replace all of his lost revenue. It's the kiss of death in a lot of cases for people like Warrun that don't have years and years and years of streaming time under their belt when they've generated as much popularity as fast as they have, to then suddenly not be able to be live at all. And he can't dodge it. If he tries to dodge it, he'll get permanently banned too. So he has no line of communication other than Twitter. He's got people that are trying to reach out on his behalf, and all he can do is sit there and wait. That would drive me insane, especially considering that I'm in the position that Warrun used to be in, where I want to be able to do this full time, and I'm not there yet. If that happened to me in the position that I'm in right now, it would be devastating. It just doesn't make any sense. That's all I have for today, guys. Again, thank you so much for your overwhelming support. As always, I'll be on doing my thing on Twitch here as soon as this upload is on the old YouTuber. And if you want to come by and say hi, do it. If not, then I will see you here tomorrow. Thanks.